Kashif Bouns attended high school in Kuwait. Now that's interesting because I spend quite a lot of my year in Kuwait, as does our CEO, so we're pretty familiar with this place, and completed his studies in accounting and financial services at Box Hill Institute in 2006. After he completed his Advanced Diploma of Accounting, he attained his degree from Swinburne with 1.5 years credit for his studies at Box Hill. Shortly after, Kashif was approached by AFL Victoria, that stands for the Australian Football League, for those who no, you did know that, yes, to work on developing their multicultural participation, and has been promoted to the position of Multicultural Programs Coordinator for the AFL. Kashif devotes his professional and personal time to the integration of migrants into the Australian community. He has worked as an advisor for the Victorian Taxi Directorate to provide input into issues faced by Victorian taxi drivers, and is the co-founder of the Pakistani Students Association. Kashif is also an ambassador for the South Asian Task Force for Domestic Violence and was the 2011 recipient of the Victorian Multicultural Award for Excellence in the Community Services category. Thank you for letting us share your story, Kashif, and please join me on stage while we view your video profile.
I studied Advanced Diploma of Accounting at Box Hill TAFE. The reason I chose this course was because at that stage in my life I wanted to be an accountant, and I had a look at a number of courses across a number of institutes, and the Box Hill TAFE Advanced Diploma of Accounting was the one that attracted me the most, and that's why I chose it. At the moment, I'm working for AFL Victoria as Multicultural Programs Coordinator, where I'm looking after the state multicultural programs run by AFL, while I'm also working at coordinating the national multicultural programs as well. So doing a couple of projects nationally and then running the programs statewide. The time that I spent at Box Hill TAFE was very memorable because the Box Hill TAFE had that community feel. Everyone knew everyone. It was like a close-knit family. I knew all my teachers at TAFE. Every time I get credited for a success, it's also a success for Box Hill TAFE because I always recognize Box Hill TAFE for getting me to where I am. I would have not learned the skills which I use in my job every day if I had not gone to Box Hill TAFE.
Congratulations, Kashif, and I now ask our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. John Maddock, to hand over the Enterprising Graduate of the Year Award. Thank you very much. Thank you, John and Kashif. I invite you all to enjoy your main meal before we hear from our guest speaker. Thank you very much.
I'm not too sure if it is a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm here anyway. So after I finished my high school in Kuwait, there were not too many study options, as many of our friends here are aware. And that's why they've opened the college there, which is a fantastic opportunity for people living there. But there was not many opportunities to study, and I was not even interested either. So I didn't really want to study at that stage. I wanted to just work, and I found a job in engineering and did that for a couple of years. But in those couple of years, what I realized was that without a formal education, I wouldn't get too far. I probably would get to a certain level and then would not be able to make any career progress after that. So then I got a little bit serious about what I wanted to do in life, and I looked at my study options. And to be honest, Australia was not at my radar at that stage. I was thinking more USA and UK. My dad was pushing me to USA, but I told him they don't play cricket there, so I'm not going to go there. So that topic was quickly done and dusted with. But as it happens, I used to play cricket with some Australians, and one of them just one day told me that, why don't you go to Melbourne if you want to study further? And as soon as he said that, my eyes lit up because Pakistan won their Cricket World Cup in 1992 at MCG. So I a decision was made then and there, and all I had to work out was which college or university to pick. So I started my research, and there were a number of universities, but I came across a word which I did not know how to pronounce. It was TAFE or TAFE or something, but it was TAFE. I didn't know what it was. But as I looked further into that word, I realized that that's exactly what I was looking for. I had been out of the education system for a couple of years, and as I said, I was never the one for studies, so I was a bit nervous, and university seemed a bit daunting to me. So, and TAFE was not only, I found it would be more easier pathway for me, but also it was more economical as well, and good value for money. So I chatted with a few people, and Boxhill TAFE, I was told, is rated very highly, and so I ended up coming here. And that's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because wherever I am today, it's because of those initial days and months and years that I spent at Boxhill TAFE. But this is not about Boxhill TAFE. This is about me. So I'll just continue on. So with Boxhill TAFE, when I started, I obviously came into accounting. That's what I wanted to do at the time, and I did my advanced diploma. During my time at Boxhill TAFE, obviously I was an international student, so I did not have any family or friends here. So those times can be really, really tough for you, and sometimes you just want to pack your bags and go back. But from the orientation onwards, because of all the students were so nice to me, and we had this community feeling, and heaps of on-campus activities which I started to engage in as well, and I started building those networks, which some of them are still with me, and those networks gave me a sense of belonging, and also kept me serious. And for some reason I did really well at my studies because the teachers were so helpful, and I excelled at my studies, and as a result of that, when I finished my advanced diploma, it was not an issue for me to get into Swinburne University, because Boxhill had an arrangement with them. So I went there. At that moment I still wanted to do accounting, hadn't changed my mind, so went to Swinburne University for a couple of years, year and a half to be precise, finished my accounting degree there, and I did very well there as well. It was high distinction. I obviously worked hard for it, and when I finished my degree, I was like, this is it, I've got it now. Finished my degree, I will have a job, I will settle down. Life is going to be, a lot more easier from here on. But I had not actually been back to Pakistan to see my parents for last 3.5 years because I was studying, and I just wanted to finish it before I go because I didn't want to lose my focus. So once I finished my degree, the economy was booming. There were plenty of jobs in the market, and I knew that I would get a job straight away. My teachers were encouraging me, and I just wanted to leave straight away. I went back to Pakistan, spent a couple of months there, saw my family. When I came back, it was a changed world. The economy had busted, as you would know, in 2008, in the middle of it. And we were in the middle of the global financial crisis. So there were not many jobs around. There were a lot of people competing for jobs, and they had a lot more experience than I did. Also, some of you who are aware of how the migration system works, I did not have a permanent residence at that time, and which meant that I could not work. There was no stability with me. An employer would not want to invest in me because what if after 6 months I had to go back, or after 8 months I had to go back? So in a tight job market, that was a massive disadvantage. And I was very low at confidence at that stage, and I just wanted to go back, but spoke with few people, and they told me just keep at it, and I kept at it. I kept applying for jobs day, night, evening. Hardly even got an interview, but I just did not stay still in that time. I did any job that came my way. So I did pizza delivery. I worked in a factory. I did security, and I also, you guys probably have already stereotyped, I drove cabs as well, so yeah. So I drove cabs, whatever came my way, I kept working, I worked hard, I made sure that, you know, I was doing something with my life, but at the same time, I kept looking for a job. I came across a lot of hardships because when I was outside in the real world, obviously, you know, some people are not as supportive as others, and I came across a lot of discrimination and racism at times as well, and those times can be really hard for you, but they actually inspired me that, you know, to help other people who are in the same boat. So because I was not doing a full-time job, I started to volunteer a lot of my time helping other international students and new migrants and help them integrate and assimilate while also trying to address the issues that they were facing. So I was trying to do something with my time all the time. I did get a couple of accounting jobs, but they were contractual basis, couple of months here and there, and nothing stable. Eventually, I did end up getting a proper accounting job. Did it for 6 months. But in those 6 months, because I had been so much so involved in community work, when I did accounting, after 6 months I realized, look, I probably don't want to do accounting for the rest of my life. Trust me, I was good at it. It's not that I was bad or anything. Voxel Tape and Sinvan did a good job with me. I was good at what I did, but I just didn't see myself to be an accountant for the rest of my life. I wanted to do something different. I just did not know what it was. And as it happens, one day I was having a chat with one of my friends, and she said that, why don't you try to find a job in community development? You've got heaps of experience in the field. You got the business background as well, and maybe you will be able to do something with that. Now, I had never looked at community development as a profession. For me, it was a passion, not a profession. For me, it was something I did because I felt like I must. It was not something I did to make money out of or anything. So it was a change of mindset, but when I thought about it, I was like, everyone talks about doing things that you love. So if I can do things that I love and still get paid for it, maybe not as much as the accountants do, it will be a good thing. So I started looking for jobs, and I think my luck was starting to change. And I came across this job. It was called Global Programs Coordinator. So it was a partnership between SNN Football Club and Cricket Victoria. And basically what they were trying to do were using sport as a vehicle for social inclusion. So they used to, so cricket during the summer and football during the winter, taking people to the game and help them build those local connections. So it was a job too good to be true. I just looked at the cricket part, didn't worry much about SNN at that stage, and applied for the role. I got called in for the interview, and I was really nervous because I had been in Australia 5 years. I had never been to a football game at that stage. I had no idea what footy was, and I sort of barracked for Geelong because it was the first Victorian team to win a premiership after I came to Australia. But that was it. One thing someone told me very early on, and no offense, but I was told very early on that one day you will barrack for a team, but make sure when you do, it's not Collingwood. So I remember that, but as I said, I've got very good friends at Collingwood, and have no disrespect to them, but yeah. But so I was when I knew that I had to go for this job interview at SNN Football Club. I was very nervous, and so I had to actually sit down and research. So I literally researched everything about football and about SNN, and one day before the interview, I asked one of my mates, who is obviously a footy fanatic, asked him to interview me. And this is about preparation. This is about preparation. It's not just about, getting up and going to an interview unprepared. What I'm trying to tell you, especially the new graduates, that even if you are applying for a job which has nothing to do with, which is something totally new, research it. Research the organization that you're going for. because it always matters. So when I went there, I was honest. I didn't tell them that I have always been a footy fan. I was honest. I was upfront. I told them, look, I don't know much about football. I've never been to a game, but this is what I found about your club. And I know Essendon had won 16 premierships, most successful club. And also, they were doing a lot of work in community space, which I really liked. So I did my interview. Luckily, I got the job. It was during the summer, so my first test was easier. I had to work with Cricket Victoria. But then again, they're giving me 2,000 tickets for bush rangers versus redbacks, and asking me, can you bring 2,000 people to this game? I'm like, do you get 2,000 people over the whole season? Like, it was not easy, but I was able to do that consistently over the cricket season. So when I went to Essendon for the football season, I was high on confidence. And I was able to do a good job with Essendon. And in those 2 or 3 months, they offered me to work full-time with them in their community department as a multicultural officer. So now this is totally different, right? Now they are expecting me to go and teach kids how to play footy. Now I've just been to my first football game 3 months ago. Don't know half of the rules, which I'm sure umpires don't either, but yeah. And we were working on it, aren't we? So we were, so this was a job which was very hands-on. It's not about taking people just to the games. It's not about doing club tour. It's about actually running footy clinics. So I told them, look, do you really expect me to do this job, or it's some kind of joke? They said, no, we really like what you're doing. We don't want you to be working at cricket because we are afraid you will get a full-time job there. We want you here. And what we're happy to do is in this first 3 months, we will give you a resource. So someone who knows footy will go with you to deliver the clinics. You pick that knowledge up. If after 3 months it's working fine, we'll continue with your employment. Otherwise, we can see what we can do. So I took up that challenge. It was a challenge for me. I was very nervous because what happened once, before this, I tried to run a footy clinic once at another TAFE, Holmesland TAFE. So I've gone there for international students, teaching them, and they wanted me to do some activity, right? Because I'm promoting for them to come to a footy game, and they wanted me to come and promote that to them. So they wanted me to run an activity. I've gone to another guy in community department asking him, can you help me out? He's like, yeah, no worries, man. Just take a handball target and that's it. Run a handball target clinic and that would be fine. I was like, fair enough. How do you actually do that? So he's put this handball target, showed me how to put it together. And he's like, then you just put the footy through it and that's it. All right, okay, fair enough. Simple, easy enough. I took the handball target, took the footies, went to the TAFE, and put the handball target up and showing students how to put the footy through. Now one of the teacher comes up to me and she's like, why don't you ask them to actually handball the footy? Because I was just asking them to throw it like this. so that's where, and I was like, what is she on about? So I told her, and I just told her, look, that would be too hard for them, but actually it was too hard for me. I didn't. So that's where my football knowledge was when they offered me this job, running football clinics. So I had 3 months to prove myself, learn how to drop punt, learn how to do everything, and bring myself up to speed. But I took the challenge, did that for 3 months, and they were happy to give me the job after that, which obviously means that I was doing something right. But I think that I've done a huge disservice to footy industry, and you might not see any players coming through the northwest region for a long time, unless they go and get some coaching, proper coaching from someone else. But look, a lot of it was about relationship building, about new initiatives, about getting out of my comfort zone, and about bringing people to football and using football as a vehicle for building social capital and social connections, and not only helping the multicultural communities to integrate, but also helping mainstream community to welcome those communities. Because, the real challenge is not me, convincing someone to take up footy. The real challenge starts when they actually take up my advice and walk into that local football club, and if that local football club does not provide them a welcoming environment, they would never walk in again. So that was a part of my job as well. So I worked hard on that, and luckily 6 months into the job, I got a tap on the shoulder from AFL Victoria. They wanted me to come and work for them. So there I was. I had the people in the position, in the job that I was doing at SNN for 6 years in different clubs, in some instances, 6 years, 5 years, 4 years. And here I am, no footy background, never played a game of footy, don't even know how to kick the ball properly. I'm not saying now don't interpret it as lax employment standards. It's just that, I was still able to demonstrate that I could do the job, and AFL Victoria identified that, and they came and offered me a job, and I took it, and that's what I'm doing now. But all the while, when I got these jobs, even though this job was this job suited my passion, and it was about things that I loved, I did not give up on volunteering, because for me that was not an ends to a means. It is something that I'm still very passionate about. So I still continue to do that. I still continue to volunteer in different spaces, trying to help people out wherever I can, because not only it helps them get better, but it also makes me better. It makes me a better person. It gives me a sense of fulfillment, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction. And that's what I continue to do today. So this is, I've been very lucky, and today is just another instance that I've been rewarded with an award. And I've been lucky enough to be recognized a number of times, as it has been mentioned, through different awards. But there are a lot of people out there who are doing a lot better job than I am, and they don't even get a pat on the shoulder. And those people are I think, the backbone of this country. This country owes a lot to its volunteers, be it in the football field, health field, social sector, and I have a lot of respect for them. And I think these achievements that I have, they are the unsung heroes, and I'm really happy that I have this opportunity to actually come here and be in front of so many amazing people. Look, you guys have already put in the hard yards. I'm talking about the vocational graduates. You've done the hard yards. That's why you're here. Out of 40,000 students, just 9. It's a massive, massive achievement. And what I would like to tell you, what my advice to you will be, that just keep working hard. Just what you have done to get here is is the same thing that's going to take you further. And never ever let your study pigeonhole you. If you think 2 years down the track that IT was not for you, you want to do something else, go and do it. Because you know what, who knows, that will take you a lot further than what IT will. And that's what I did with my life, and it worked for me, and I've seen a lot of people, and it has worked for them. Ahmed Saad, who plays for St Kilda, he was a soccer player. He took up footy when he was 18, and he's 22 now, and he's playing AFL footy. So, that can be true in any field, in any profession. If you guys have a dream, chase that dream. And look, you don't always have to be in community sector or in IT sector or in accounting sector. Because if you're passionate about making money, then go and make that money. Because we in community sector are always looking for sponsors. So if whatever you're passionate about, go and chase your dream, work hard for it, and also try to get to know as many people as you can. Networking is the key. A lot of time, it's not about what you know, it's also about who you know. And that was very true for myself. And wherever I go, I try to connect with as many people as possible, try to exchange my business cards, and also within my job, it helps me to come up with new projects and new initiatives all the time. And also, if you're applying for a job, there is a selection criteria, and it says it's not necessary, we just need a resume. Please send them a cover letter as well. address that selection criteria, go the extra mile. It's very competitive out there, and unless you don't go the extra mile, it will be very hard for you. So I guess I've bored you for long enough. I wouldn't go any further. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Once again, thank you for having me, and congratulations on your achievements. Thank you.
Fantastic, Kashif. That's wonderful. I'd like to point out, first of all, if on the basis that Kashif became a Geelong supporter, he would have had to arrive in Australia in 1964 to be a Melbourne supporter. All right, and also that 1992 World Cup match at the MCG. Now, I was there. I saw that match, and I was barracking for Pakistan because, of course, they were playing against England. And there's nothing more that an Australian crowd likes than to see the English get beaten. So, and the two champions on that day, I believe, were Imran Khan and Javed Miandad, two of the legends of Pakistani cricket. So, fantastic thing. Kashif, I've been coming to these evenings for a long time, and I think that's possibly the best speech I've heard. So that was just a wonderful thing. So well done.